with which to have awareness and a part of his divine will, to feel what this awareness is experiencing. Everyone now wishing to remain on earth must accept the whole being and discontinue denial of the part of the self that feels what the spirit is experiencing. Instead of denying your own will in favor of someone else, or in favor of what you have believed to be the divine will, it is necessary now to realize that denial of the individual will has been a misunderstanding that has resulted in a split in the consciousness of individuals on earth. The individual will is not meant to be separate from the divine will, any more than the individual spirit is meant to be separate from the divine consciousness. It is important to realize this thoroughly and profoundly. I received these words directly from God. In the beginning, I could not, like so many others on earth, believe it was actually possible to hear directly from God. I knew, though, that many psychics had been accustomed to hearing from spirit guides. I found this to be very interesting, and I began to listen and learn from guides who had identified themselves to me as the Ancient Ones. As this went on, I was encouraged to try to hear directly from God. When I first heard him, I was overcome with feelings of his exquisite love. I had been living without conscious awareness of this connection for so long that I hadn't realized how much I had been missing God and how much I was missing a strong feeling of his presence on earth. God wants it to be known that he is open and willing to communicate directly with all spirits on earth who can open to receive him. When you are truly open and receptive to his loving light, you can begin to experience a direct communication. As you become more attuned, anything you need to know is then available because of the connection we all have with God. God has given me the information in this book, and although he refers to himself as God in these first paragraphs, now that this has been stated, he is going to refer to himself as my light or my loving light, and occasionally as I in the rest of the text. The will has long been misunderstood because the spirit was seen to be the essence of the body, but the understanding is this: spirit inspires, will responds, and together they experience in the body. Body is the manifestation of both spirit and will. In order for unconditional love to manifest in the body, spirit and will must balance in the heart. To find this balance, you will need to open the consciousness of your spirit and the receptivity of your will to receive my loving light. My light is polarized in order to experience. This polarization has been misunderstood as splits in which the will was seen as disconnected from and not a useful part of spirit, and has even been judged to be in opposition to the spirit. However, the spirit and the will are the expanding polarities of oneness. Polarities need to be recognized as evolving expansions of a connected whole. Creation exists because it has both the spiritual essence that powers it and the magnetic energy that can open space to receive it. The same is true within each individual. The spirit and the will are not meant to be separate from one another in any individual any more than my spirit is meant to be separate from my will. In each person, the spirit and the will are meant to be unconditionally connected to each other. Each individual spirit is meant to be connected to my spirit, and each will connected to my will, and so all is one. The understanding needed next is, when anything is denied and not accepted by the individual to whom it belongs, that denied part of the individual has been placed outside of his or her love. In placing something outside of love, you have been feeding another reality that has troubled Earth for a long time. Because of its negative polarity, most people have equated the will with evil and with darkness. Everything negative has been assumed to be the cause of the trouble on Earth. You need to realize that this is not true. Darkness and negativity need to be understood and accepted as the part of creation that can make a place for my light by opening the space to receive it. Until it opens space to attract and receive light, the will appears to be darkness. When the will is not allowed to express, it cannot vibrate. It is the will's vibration that opens space. Now, many people have thought they were evolving into unconditional love on Earth, but they have forgotten that they must accept all of themselves first. There is no way around it. If you do not totally accept yourself first, you cannot totally open to anyone or anything else. Many have thought that by allowing their will to express only positive feelings, they would attract only loving light. But what they have attracted is the conditional love that results from denial. Because the will has been so misunderstood, the need to allow the will to evolve is great right now on Earth. To evolve it, you must first accept it. You cannot beat it into the appropriate shape. It must be accepted as it is now in order to evolve. Denial of unlovingness will not clear it. You cannot just mentally insist that you are all loving. You must really be there. All levels of your being must really be there. Where your will has not been allowed to open and receive loving light, you have denial. Your denials are yours to heal. In healing your will, you must allow it to tell you how upset it has become. In hearing from your will unconditionally, you have taken the step of accepting it, wherever it is. Denial does not allow loving light in. Controlling and imposing limits and conditions on your will means you do not have unconditional acceptance for it. Where you do not have acceptance for it, you are not loving it. Where you are not loving it, you are denying it. When you deny parts of yourself, you are not accepting all of yourself, and so you do not have all of yourself present with you. If you do not have all of yourself present with you in loving acceptance, you are not loving yourself unconditionally. You cannot love anyone or anything else unconditionally if you do not have all of yourself with which to love them. You must accept all of yourself unconditionally by bringing all parts of yourself within loving acceptance and allowing them to evolve. When a person is denying parts of the self, that person will be denying others too. No one who wants to continue on the path of self-denial or of denying others, a path of imbalance, in other words, will be able to remain on Earth. It is not a loving, nourishing, life-giving policy to be living in a state of imbalance. But in saying this, a threat is not intended. Major spiritual misunderstandings have been in place from the very beginning and have beleaguered Earth from the beginning. This information is meant to help you understand how to release yourself from the path of strife, struggle, and suffering that denial has brought to Earth. Earth has been imbalanced to the point of feeling her life is threatened and is not going to tolerate any more imbalance. The Earth herself is going to clear out of herself and off of herself everything that has not been loving toward her. As she is doing this, all those who want to remain on Earth must also clear out of themselves everything that has not been loving. The understandings you need now are about how to help and allow your own will to evolve. In short, allow your will to express everything you feel and do not stop until you are really finished. The problem with the free expression of the will on Earth right now is that it has been denied for so long that its attempts to express itself have looked out of balance, and they often have been. For this reason, let your will release in a private place, as the will naturally would with sounds, especially at first. The emotional release my light is talking about is direct emotional expression as sounds. So, be careful not to hurt yourself or anyone else, and do not go forward and act out on a wave of emotions. In hearing this book and trying out these understandings, it is important not to impose this on others who do not want it. For just as it is not spiritual balance to deny yourself in favor of others, it is also not spiritual balance to deny others in favor of yourself. It is also not necessary to believe that you must have teachers or intermediaries to help you find the healing you need. While others can have help to offer, you are the one who knows and can know yourself best. Take responsibility for yourself and what you need to do to heal your imbalances. While emotional release has been a long neglected part of this healing process, understanding must also enter in where denial was. Acceptance must take the place of non-acceptance, and openness must come where you were closed. Your will has a progression that can help you if you can allow it to unfold. You can also ask my loving light to help you. Denial does not allow the release back out of what has been taken in. When you take in and do not release back out, your receptive centers get filled up and can no longer receive clearly, and sooner or later, not at all. Blocking the free expression of the will has not been allowing the release back out of what the will has taken in. This makes it very difficult to exercise discernment and is one of the main reasons that most people on earth do not, at present, have direct experience of my presence. Much of what has shut down evolution of consciousness on earth is fear, held in common by many, that free expression will result in harm to others, societal chaos, or both. This fear is accompanied by another fear that so many who have claimed divine authority have done harmful things. And many who have claimed to hear divine impulses have done the bidding of voices that have told them to do harmful things. You can be sure that these claims of divine guidance are not my loving light if they have influenced people to do harmful things. One of the empowering factors in these understandings is that you can release yourself intentionally by allowing free expression. This then eliminates the need for any harmful situation to come to you from outer reality. This is an understanding that is very necessary now on earth. People have thought that karma brings a balance of payments, but karma is not that simplistic. Karma is meant to bring you into balance, this is true, but not by bringing one experience as payment for